Hi, I'm Jordan Thorne, and we're here at TMRE 2019. Today I'm joined by Antony Barton. He's the Director of Global Insights and Analytics at Intel. Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So, can you talk about the journey from where you first started out in your career to where you are now, leading Intel into a new future?
I think the journey actually in September, I was 20 years at Intel, and always been in the insights function, and I've had a number of different roles and focused on a number of different product segments, but it is still very much the work that I do is I feel that I'm responsible to bring that perspective of our customer back into the engineering team and make sure that as they're thinking about designing for us new PCs
Mm-hmm.
or the components that go into a PC, that they very much have that customer perspective. That continues to be when I was here 20 years ago, even to sharing research on Monday morning with the engineers, very, very same. So a
Amazing.
long journey, but not necessarily very different.
Okay. And what has been one of the biggest challenges for you over the last year?
Our biggest challenge, which I was saying earlier, is talent. We've been losing people. I think the big tech companies like Facebook and Microsoft and Google are doing a lot of hiring. And so we're challenged to make sure that we can keep and retain talent. That would be the number one challenge that I face.
Okay, and curious, how are you sort of combating that issue?
We're looking at actually trying to get a younger cohort of research analysts in. That has some challenge. It has positives and challenges. The positives are they bring forth new thinking. They're more open to try different things. The challenge is that it somewhat changes our engagement model because you're getting a person that doesn't necessarily have 7 to 10 years work experience.
Yeah.
So can you put them right in front of the VP to do the presentation? So
Okay.
it kind of changes things that way. But I
Okay.
think it's been a healthy dose of getting some new thinking into our group.
Really interesting. And in your teams, how do you try to help and foster creative and innovative thinking?
Coming to conferences like this are an example, meeting different research partners, trying to understand what are they offering. We also try on the team, we try for each person to make sure that if they're doing 3 or 4 projects per quarter, we want to make sure that at least one of those is something that is more innovative.
Okay,
And
that's
that might
cool.
be using a research partner that we've not used before, trying a new method, maybe even trying something on their own versus always relying on a research partner.
Hmm. And there's, everyone sort of sees that the pace of technology is rapidly transforming and changing, and disrupting the way that traditionally conducted and delivered market research has gone. So,
Mhm.
um, how exactly, in your perspective, has this in any way disrupted your industry?
I think the main pressure that we come under is time. It's time to insights, and we've made a lot of progress in trying not to have the stakeholder or partner come to us with a business challenge and then say, okay, well, we'll see you in about 3 months. And we've
Yeah.
really tried to reduce that schedule, whether it's doing a quantitative survey, whether it's trying to get qualitative feedback. I think the number one thing we've tried to do is go faster time to insights. And sometimes that could mean leveraging more of an online environment versus going out and doing focus groups across a number of different cities. So there's different techniques that we've used. But at the end of the day, we're still, as I mentioned earlier, responsible to bring back that perspective of our target audience.
Yeah.
And still very important for us to interview that person, possibly to show them a message or a possible product and get their feedback on that. We just are under pressure to do it faster.
Faster. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. And so, with this increasing change, what do you think legacy businesses like Intel need to do in order to have a sustainable business long into the future?
That's a pretty, for Intel, what we have done, and especially the work that I'm involved in working with the PC division, the business unit that is producing PCs, we've been working very tightly with them to have almost a very niche audience approach, meaning we're
Okay.
no longer just trying to build a laptop for everybody. We're very focused on a couple of segments. So we focus on gaming. We call that a
Mm.
high growth segment. We focus on what we call premium on the go laptop users. That would be another segment. Our third segment is commercial, that would be people in businesses that use PCs. So trying to
Okay.
be much more focused on these target audiences, which tend to refresh faster. They tend to buy a higher priced PC.
Hmm.
So less of a focus on the overall market, but
Okay.
very focused on certain segments.
Sounds like a great way to sort of make sure you still have that key connection to a piece of the market.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you envision the future of laptops looking in the next 10 years, 10 years from now?
I think 10 years is a long way to go out,
Yeah.
but I think 5 years, I think we continue to see the laptop as playing a very important role in people's lives. We think that there are usages, there are times when you need to have a laptop to focus on. Maybe it's a larger task that
Hmm.
you're doing. We also know that with smartphones, there are other tasks that people prefer to use a smartphone for.
Yeah.
But I think if you look out, I don't see any scenario where someone doesn't need a laptop. Sometimes it could be as simple as sometimes you need to have a keyboard
Hmm.
to input information. Sometimes you need a larger screen to actually look at something.
Yeah. Great. And to finish off, why is it important for great thinkers to come together like this and share ideas?
I think it's a fantastic networking opportunity, both in terms of meeting people from other companies. For example, I noticed there was a lot of people here from Pepsi, from Merck. So these are industries that are packaged goods or healthcare that are much different than my industry
Hmm.
in technology. And it's just interesting. I've attended a couple of classes and kind of hear some of their challenges. And then, as I mentioned earlier, a great way to network and see, as we see the show floor, see all these different research partners that are pushing innovative methods, which often tend to be faster time to insights.
Great. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.